Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Ferrari LaFerrari in multiplayer in Asphalt 9 for the second time, and I'll explain in a little bit what exactly happened that caused me to do this again. So we're 3-star now at a rank of 2831 with all upgrades and import parts applied that I could at this time. So, how did this happen? Basically, the LaFerrari packs came on sale not too long ago, and I decided I'll buy one of the 750 token packs. I only needed 5 more blueprints to go from 2-star to 3-star. So I bought it, and I got 21 blueprints out of it. I got a jackpot in the middle, as well as 2 of the 3-pack ones, so now I have 16 out of 24 to 4-star. I'm not going to buy any more. I still have like between 5,000 and 6,000 because I want to save them for the Regera, which is probably coming sometime fairly soon, given all the stuff with the icon changing and all that on various people's platforms and play stores and stuff. But yeah, I got this car to 3-star, that's how it happened, and so I decided to make another video about it. And here we accidentally go off the left side of the ramp, thankfully do not hit the building, thankfully don't somehow explode when we come down the ground, and just kind of keep going. This car does seem to be a bit of a tank. Unfortunately, it is a bit sluggish, even at 3-star where it is definitely better than it was before. Still not the most fun car in the game to drive, I can tell you that. However, it does have some good qualities. Its acceleration is nothing great, but it's not horrible either. Also, its nitro efficiency is actually quite good when compared to something like the P1, so in some cases where nitro efficiency is really important, it could possibly beat the P1. Now, it also has rather bad drifting, unfortunately, and it just feels rather sluggish, as I said earlier. It sort of feels like driving an SCG with worse speed and better nitro efficiency, at least from my experience. So here we go up 36, as you do in first place in this season, beating a 3100 Corvette Grand Sport, which is interesting, given that on Rome, the Corvette should do very well given its very good agility. I have mine at 1-star, and I've already managed to beat so many Vulcans and Centenarios and, well, you name it this season. The Corvette has beaten it. I wanted to wait until I at least 2-starred it to make a video about it, because then I could make it purple and it would be, well, even better. Somehow that guy didn't knock me down and we did instead, and the weird wonky physics work in my favor for once. But anyway, about the Corvette, if you guys still want to see me do a video about it, even at 1-star, let me know, because I have some fairly good races in it. So most of you guys have probably seen my community post about me uploading a music video at 16,000 subscribers. Well, actually, I have basically finished the song, and the video is just left to create. But I am going to wait for 16,000 subscribers and use that time to make it as good as it possibly can be, so you guys have the best music video on this channel yet. I sure can't wait to upload it, because I know you guys are really going to enjoy it. So we're coming up near the end of this race here. We did not really have much competition in this race. We had another LaFerrari that was at the same rank, and some Dodge Viper GTSs, which by the way is a pretty good car. If you want to check out my video about that, it's the one that I uploaded just before this one, actually. But in this race, the GTS drivers did not do quite so great, but here we come in first position, go up another 36. That's pretty nice to keep doing that even once you get close to Legend League. This is not something that you would find in the other seasons. Usually, as you go up in rating in the normal seasons, you don't go up as much in rating per race, even if you come in first. That's one interesting thing about the Rush series in this case. It's not the full ahead season. I believe it is an improvement upon the full ahead season, definitely. And if they want to do this thing where pretty much everybody goes up, they need to do it more like this season rather than the previous one. So kudos to them for that. And if you guys are wondering, why am I not in Legend League yet? Well, I have managed to reach there, and I'm planning to just be top 3,000, I believe, this season. It's actually easier this season than in the previous full ahead season. I don't know exactly why, but it's a whole lot easier to stay in the top 3,000 than it was in that one. But I'm not going for top 1,000 or anything like that, because I really don't have time to play this game all day. So in this race, our main competitor, as you can tell, is this Huera BC. Now, he was at 4,100 rank. That is 1,300 rank above us, and we're somehow still managing to keep up pretty close to him. He went the right route there. I do think the right route is faster in most cases. I just have not really been used to it, and that's why I don't usually go that way in multiplayer. There, I accidentally hit the bus by using the brake trick when landing on the ground to not 360 again. Sometimes it does not exactly work out well, as you could see there, but we come in second position, we still go up 16, and we beat a bunch of other cars, including a 3100 rank LaFerrari. Now, in this race, we got a bunch of Vulcans and cars like that, but also a rank 3500 Huayra BC. That's not as much as the one in the previous race, but still, that's quite a lot. I managed to get the Huayra BC, but it's only at 1 star, and since I already made a video about it at 3 star, with races recorded for me by somebody else, I'm probably not going to be making a video about that at this time. I always try to make videos about cars that I either haven't done yet, or are at higher ranks than I've tested them before. So you can certainly expect a video about my 6-star Fenner whenever it's usable in a season, because it hasn't been since I was able to do that. So we've seemed to be doing pretty well in this race. That Huayra is not even on the map, which is rather odd. The thing about the Huayra, it actually drives quite a bit like this car, at least from my experience. It has good nitro efficiency, okay-ish acceleration, not the greatest handling or drifting, but I would say it's probably better than this car's. All in all, it feels a bit stiff, not necessarily sluggish, but definitely more stiff than something like the Porsche 918, which is a very lively feeling car. While it's not very bouncy, it seems very, predictable. It's very interesting how all the cars in this game have different feels. That is honestly something you didn't really have in Asphalt 8, at least not to this extent. And we beat that Huayra, now for a very close race against a fellow Legions United member. He is in his rank 3500 Lamborghini Centenario. We've also got another 3500 rank Huayra BC and a 3200 rank Corvette Grand Sport. That's a lot of OP cars in this race. Let's see what the LaFerrari can do. Because while I don't particularly enjoy driving this car, I can certainly tell that it's powerful when used right. When you utilize its very good nitro efficiency, you can beat these Vulcans and stuff that are so much easier to drive but just are not as fast. Now somehow we've managed to get into first position fairly early in the race. Unfortunately, that wall there, as it usually does, cancels our shockwave. I don't know why it does that. I've yet to figure out how to get around that turn and up that barrel roll quickly in a fast car such as this. Now here's something you may have seen me do on previous videos, but if you haven't, what I usually do here is I shockwave and wall ride along that wall in faster cars. In slower ones, it is still faster to just drift around the inside and then shockwave, but in faster ones, that can certainly save you some time, especially if your car has good nitro efficiency. Now you don't want to do that if your car has very bad nitro efficiency, because what will happen is you'll run out of shockwave before the end of the turn, and you'll get slowed down because there is a sidewalk over there. Here we come in just ahead of Touareg in his Centenario, as well as beating that Corvette Grand Sport, who beat that Huayra BC. Now for a race against Touareg again in his Centenario on a track that is more tuned for high top speed cars. Now this car does have fairly good top speed. It's like 231 at this rank, which is okay. It's pretty good for Class A. The Centenario is actually faster though, so we'll have to see how that comes into play in this race. And there he is, right over there. Now, based on what I saw in the last race, I knew that Touareg was quite a good driver, so I was going to try to do all the speed tricks and stuff that I knew how to do to get ahead of him. So I take my usual route on this track now, wall riding back there, drifting there to get back up to full nitro bar before going around the corner, shockwaving up here. It's fairly standard. This track is not too difficult. However, while it's simple, sometimes the physics can make you do some kind of weird things. Thankfully, in this race, it doesn't really happen, but unfortunately, he does manage to get past us. Usually, I try to go for the barrel roll on the left there, and then hit the one on the right, which gives you a better speed boost if you do it right. Now, it can be a little risky. Physics can cause some problems there, but usually I haven't had problems with that. Now here, unfortunately, I don't quite get up to a shockwave, which allows him to pass me right here. However, I do have almost a full nitro bar, so I shockwave. Unfortunately though, it's not quite enough to be able to pass him, and we finish in second position, but only one frame behind him in Asphalt 8 terms. Speaking of Asphalt 8, tomorrow I will be uploading my Nissan 370Z SE multiplayer video in Asphalt 8. And let's just say, it's not quite as good as the other special edition cars. So now it's time for my general review of this car. It is definitely worth going for because it's not a bad car at all, just not necessarily up to par with some of the other high-end A-class cars. It has good nitro efficiency, average acceleration, average speed, and not so great drifting and handling. So given that, its nitro efficiency is probably its biggest asset. Most people probably have this car at 2 stars because of the blueprints that you can get through career and the several that they gave away in some events. So I would not really recommend at this time buying blueprint packs for it. Well, I got lucky, not everyone else might, and it's really best in this case to just save your tokens up for the next big thing, which is probably going to be the Regera. Now, every so often people ask me, how do you farm tokens? Well, you can't really farm them per se, but you can get a lot per week by doing daily tasks. You can get like 50 a day, and you can get an extra 200 weekly by doing the weekly championship. If you finish in the top 1%, even like the top 5%, you get 150. So that's still a good amount. Multiplayer also gives a lot, so if you can get high rank in multiplayer each season, preferably top 1000 or higher, you can get a good lot of tokens that way. Here we see the bad drifting of this car come into play, however, it does not really hinder us in any way because we were quite far ahead, and thus we take the victory in this race. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 8 content, and especially if you went to see that face reveal at 25,000 subscribers. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.